Hi, my name's Mariah Beck, and I will be talking about suicide in Kokoro and A Silent Voice. Trigger warning, I will be talking about bullying and suicide, and also spoiler alert, because if you haven't seen A Silent Voice or read it. My thesis statement is, though both Sensei from Kokoro and Shoya Ishida from A Silent Voice blame themselves for the pain of others and are suicidal because of it, Kokoro teaches about the cycle of pain, while A Silent Voice teaches how to break the cycle. So since we all read Kokoro, I am only going to give a short synopsis of it. Basically, we learn that Sensei's friend Kei committed suicide, and in the end, Sensei ends up committing suicide. A Silent Voice, I'm going to give a bigger synopsis of, because I know a lot of people probably haven't read or seen it. So what happens in A Silent Voice is it flips between the present and past of the boy named Shoya Ishida, which you can see in this picture at the bottom right. And basically what happens is when he is a child, a girl joins his class who is deaf, and he finds that very strange, and he ends up bullying her because of it. And he breaks, I think, 8 of her hearing aids over that time, and when the class is told that she keeps missing her hearing aids, they all blame him, and his mother has to pay for them, and then they all turn on him and begin to bully him. Now, in the future, which is the main part of the book, he is a teenager in high school, and he has decided that he doesn't want to live anymore. But before he dies, he wants to save up enough money to pay his mother back, and he wants to go and apologize to the girl that he bullied as a child. During this time, he meets her, and when he meets her, he realizes he wants to be friends with her to make up for everything that he did to her in the past, and he decides to not commit suicide. And then as he's hanging out with her more, he learns that she has depression, she is also suicidal, and there's a whole underplot of him and learning how to trust people. But at the end of the series, the second to last book, what happens is she tries to commit suicide, and he saves her, but in the process, he falls off of the ledge that she was going to jump and ends up in the hospital with a broken arm in a coma. And after this happens, when he wakes up, he reunites with her, and they decide to work together to try and live instead of being in the same suicidal place that they had been in. It's a really heavy story, but it is really good. So what I'm going to talk about is how in Kokoro, Sensei ends up committing suicide in the end, and that's just the end of the novel. There's no really redemption arc for learning how to live, and it's mostly about how he spent his whole life in this sort of depression, blaming himself for everything that happened to Kei, and the novel sort of implies that when Sensei kills himself, he is redeeming his honor for what. Whereas in A Silent Voice, even though he blamed himself for all of the bad things that happened to the girl and to himself, Shoya Ishida, he learns to redeem himself by becoming friends with her and trying to make up for what he did. He learns sign language by the time he's in high school to talk to her better. And he works on trusting people again and on making up for what he did in his past. And I'll be talking about different secondary sources that discuss suicide in Japanese books specifically, and bullying and depression, specifically analyzing that. And I'll mainly talk about how in Kokoro it ends up with just another suicide, but with A Silent Voice, they save each other and they really work towards um, becoming better, getting better. Uh, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.